episode 71, part 2 of Kenya's premier sports video podcast, the 3 Quarters Podcast. As usual, we'd like to remind you to jump onto the hashtag Road to Japan to support the Kenya Simbas as they are still looking to qualify for the Rugby World Cup in 2019 in Japan. I'm Delima Duffield.
And I'm Ngaro Kamuya.
So, no bad man of the week, as we had no feature game.
Yeah.
Jump straight into Kenyan rugby history.
Yeah.
If you're all nice and posh, Duke of York, Kawanulemse, changes. So, we're jumping into schools. I mean, schools play an integral part of, obviously developing rugby and sports in general. Mm-hmm. So, yes, we're talking about Lenana School, aren't we?
Yes, we are talking about Lenana School, school formed in 1949 by the colonial governor at that time, Philip Ian Mitchell. It was formed as the Duke of York, as you've aptly put it, and as you've said, it's posh. Just for the posh guys.
Duke of York.
Yeah, Duke of York. It was renamed Lenana School in 1969, and ever since 1949, rugby has been a very big part of Lenana School's tradition. As you said later on, they took up the name changes. And the reason they were saying that is because of the reason the name changes came in was because of how they used to say that it used to change the background or the personality of the guys who used to go to that school, because it used to, but Lenana School being national school, it used to take in people from all over the country, and it used to change because of the strict traditions of the school. It used to change the tradition of the guys, so it became known as changes. So as I've said, rugby is a very integral part of Lenana School. It's very rare for you to find an old boy of Lenana School. They call themselves like bonds. Like bonds of Lenana School who's not a rugby fan. It's very rare for you to find. And the rugby team is now known as the Mean Maroons. Couple of guys I would want to mention who were passed by or played for the Mean Maroons. There's Richard Njoba, there's Jimmy Owino, Ken Thimba, Sami Kakame, current Kerry director Hilary Taylor.
Yeah, I was like, you can't miss him out.
Current Kenya Rugby Union Vice Chairman Thomas Opio, popularly known as Tano, current Queen's Vice Chairman Sydney Ashioya, amongst other folks. And most of the times you used to find that Lenana School old boys used to associate with Queens. And you can always tell with the tabias of the quintessential Lenana person and the Queen supporter in terms of Maringo but that was a tie between Lenana and Kenya Harlequins. So you can't talk about the history of rugby in high school in Kenya without mentioning Lenana School. Lenana School is the only high school team to have won the Eric Shirley Shield. They did that in 1977. So that's our team for the week. Over the next few weeks, of course, we'll be going through the big rugby playing schools and just previewing where the rugby started and what accolades they have won, some of the notable people who have featured for the Kenya Rugby fraternity to have passed through those schools, and the accolades that these teams have won.
Well, good place to start.
It's a good place. It's definitely a good place to start.
So we move on to the fact that Mwamba Cup. So we're moving on to clubs now. Mwamba Cup partnered with top marketing agency EXP, and they're from South Africa, if I'm not mistaken. To increase their commercial value.
Yes. You said Mwamba Cup. I said Mwamba Club.
I'm so sorry.
Mwamba Rugby Club, has partnered with EXP Kenya. That will see the agency basically tailor stuff to increase the commercial value of Mwamba. Mwamba formed in 1978, second all-indigenous club after Mean Machine, formed by guys who had left university and no longer feature for Mean Machine. So the all-African thing has it going for them. The fact that they play all black, and I've always said that if there's a story that has not been milked for commercial purpose,
it's that one.
Exactly. It's a Mwamba story. So it's a good move by Mwamba management to involve EXP to tailor something that's going to promote and build the commercial value of Mwamba. But George Mbaye and his team, chairman Mwamba, they have a very hard job and a hard task ahead of them, because we are moving into the era where in Kenya, and we are late, but we are moving into the era where clubs should be self-sustaining. We should not be depending on sponsorship. I honestly don't think even we should be depending on naming rights for clubs. So we only hope that EXP can do a fantastic job and promote and build Mwamba's value, because everyone not nowadays, but everyone from back in the day, the guys who were in the rugby fraternity when rugby started in this country, everyone came from Mwamba RFC. Then went into their clubs.
Yep.
So it's a good move, but they have a lot cut out for them.
I just hope they'll include all facets of the club.
That's true.
I mean, we can't just promote 15s for men or the George Monkey Kababerry sevens,
yes.
and then forget you have a women's team. We used to have an under 16 team. I don't know what happened to that. I think we've got a third team, which is still good. I mean, not every team, not many teams have a third team.
Yeah.
But I feel like a lot of emphasis is being put on the first 15 and the sevens, and you're forgetting about everyone else. So I really hope that they'll come up with a structure that sort of benefits everyone. The
way I would like to look at it, and I'll be practical about it, is that it has to be something that's done in phases.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, from a commercial standpoint, the two selling things is your sevens team and your 15s team, men's team. But what I would like to see is policy or structures, basically phases. How do I intend to do it? For the next 2 years, we're going to do this. But first 2 years, 15s and 7s should be driving their own thing. Then let's focus on the women's. I'd like to see trickle down, basically. Trickle down. So I'm going to be pragmatic. You can't do everything at once just now. Yeah. But you'd like to see these people have it in them. And you'd like to see the people who are formulating the policies and the structure for how this thing is going to work include the women's teams, the age grade teams going forward.
Yep. So now we move on to schools, or back to schools, and we talk about the Prescott Cup. So they receive a boost of 7.5 million and a revamped format. So this is from Homeboys Entertainment, chairman of Homeboys Rugby, Mike Rabar.
Yes.
And I mean, I love what he's doing.
Yeah.
He started off, with Homeboys Rugby Club. He's now moving to schools. I mean, he's talking about the fact that we've got to develop it from that level, to basically, I mean, that's where it all starts. It all starts there, and he's investing in that. And I think that's a really good start. And I hope that more people follow in his footsteps. I mean, so this is for 3 years. And they're also going to offer 10 scholarships, 5 to kids from local schools and 5 to kids from international schools. Based on their performance at Prescott. Which I think is just, I mean, this is. Honestly, it's unheard of. We haven't done this in Kenyan rugby.
I can categorically state and unequivocally state that whatever Mike Rabar is doing in the next 10 years, people are going to be asking where did the Homeboys come from? And it's all because of Mike Rabar realizing that sports can be run professionally. Whatever this guy is doing at Homeboys, I have so much hash for this guy because of what he's doing in terms of investing in sports, and he knows that sports always has a return. So it's good to see that he's going into Prescott Cup, and I can state, I don't know if that's his plan, but I can see where he's coming from. Homeboys is going to be guaranteed a constant feeder of the top players for as long as Homeboys is going to be the title sponsor for Prescott Cup. So it's a revamped format. It's a festival format with all games being hosted at one school. I know the first one happened this past week at Nairobi School. It's in a rotating format, and I had a chat with actually the person who's going to be chairing the committee that's going to be running the Prescott Cup, Mwangi Karemi, who's also chairman, of course, of Kenya Rugby Referees Society, and he's the head coach of Alliance High School. And he actually told me that this thing has been in the works for 2 years. They've actually been coming up with the structures for the last 2 years. So it's impressive first that they had thought about it a long time ago. And I think about one of the plans they want is that once the Prescott is done, because Prescott is it's a tier 1 schools tournament. Once Prescott is done, they come up with the select side that's going to be touring South Africa for the Craven Week. That is going to be a brilliant move for our high school boys.
Definitely,
it's going to be
the exposure is.
The exposure is going to be ridiculous. And you see, it's unfortunate that it's taken this long for somebody to come into Prescott. When I was in high school, Coca-Cola it used to be called the Coca-Cola Prescott Cup, and Prescott was big. And I remember there were only 6 teams. I think by the time I was leaving high school, there was Mangu Alliance, RVA, Nairobi School, Lenana, Strathmore. Can't remember the other two. But those, it was a very select squad. First, to see it has expanded the way it has. I mean, I was looking at what is his name? Center KCB, Ken Mosetti.
Yes.
I was looking at Ken Mossetti's Insta stories, and he's a coach for Mohori Mshiri, and I'm like, Jesus Christ, Mohori Mshiri now have a rugby team. Ken Mosetti himself played very well in his days when he was at Nairobi School. So it's good. It's Prescott Cup was always good. I used to like what Coca-Cola used to do back in the day. It used to be a festival. It was not Prescott Cup. I in the 4 years I was wherever I was privileged.
Wherever.
I was privileged to watch 2 finals. My alma mater got to 2 finals, the 2003 and 2006 finals. By the time us guys were getting to 4th form in 2006, Coca-Cola had already pulled out. Mm-hmm. But I remember seeing the amount of vibe that it used to generate. So now it's Homeboys who are on board. Homeboys are primarily an entertainment company. Mm-hmm. They're going to create the festival atmosphere, and I know out of that festival atmosphere is what's going to move guys who are watching rugby in high school to the greater rugby community outside high school. Mm-hmm. So it's a brilliant move by Homeboys. And I am actually, if I had nothing to do over the weekend, I actually would have been there. So it's something I'd definitely be wanting to now.
Yeah. I mean, all I'd say is well done to Microbiome, where he's thinking, where he's coming from, that's, on a whole other level.
Yes.
And well done to him and the guys who are on the committee. I think that's something that's, yes, it's been coming for a while, and better late than never.
Yeah.
I mean, you'd rather have it happening now.
Yeah.
So we move on to international rugby scene, where we look at Super Rugby match day 13.
Yeah.
We had the Highlanders versus, our feature game was Highlanders versus Alliance.
Yeah.
39-27 in favour of the Highlanders.
Yeah, end-to-end staff. Game was being played in Dunedin. Yeah, Dunedin, Highlanders home ground. Otago. Yeah, the Otago Stadium. Highlanders home ground, end-to-end staff. Highlanders, of course, showing their class in the end and beating the Lions 39-27. But I think the game of the weekend was the Crusaders versus the Waratahs, 29-0 to the Waratahs. At some point, Israel Folau having a blinder of a game, and then Crusaders just showing their class and showing why they are the defending champions and coming back and winning the game 31-29. So the other results, we have the Auckland Blues, or the Blues losing 15-36 to the Hurricanes. We have the Sunwolves walloping the Reds 63-21, which was a shocker for everyone who watched that game. We have the Brumbies losing to the Rebels 24-27. We have the Stormers losing to the Chiefs 9-15, and we had the last game that was played this weekend, which was the Bulls beating the Sharks 39-33.
All right. So former All Black centre CONRAD Smith announced his retirement at the end of the season from rugby, basically. And he wants to take up a role as an advocate for players, basically work with in maybe the coaching setup and international players. I think that's something most players want to do, when they finish playing.
Yeah.
But it's good that he wants to do that. I mean, that's the only way I feel like you can give back to the game.
Yeah. CONRAD Smith, popularly known as Snakey. The reason they call him Snakey is because he's a very intelligent player, and you never see him show up wherever you are where the ball is. So it's very deceptive, and that's how I guess I call him Snakey. I must add that he's a barrister, he's actually a lawyer, he's an advocate and in New Zealand, and that's why I think he wants to get into the role that he's getting into, just to advocate for players and players' rights, because he's been there and he knows the law and he knows what should work. So he's had 94 appearances for the All Blacks, and him together with Manon were the most capped centre pairing in the history of Test rugby. So as I've said, he's a very intelligent player who formed the cracks of the leadership team, or the All Blacks team, for the 2011 and 2015 World Cup. He was not really loud, he was not really out there, but you always saw his impact on the game.
Yeah.
He also played, I think, his whole entire professional career, club career, with the Hurricanes in Wellington, and he's a leader, he's a legend of the game. And it's unfortunate, I mean, in the past 5-6 weeks, we've talked about one Martin Hernandez, Brian Habana, now CONRAD Smith is retiring. I have my suspicions in another few months we're going to be talking about Dan Carter, but look, he's a legend of the game, and we can only wish him the best going forward.
Yep, yeah. And I mean, when the time comes, the time comes.
The time does.
You might as well finish on a high.
That's true.
Guys, remember, you can like our page on Facebook, follow us on Instagram, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. I'm Denise Rodolfo.
And I'm Naroka Muya.
Stick around for part 3.